What's up, guys? My name is Pro, and I have one question in mind. Is Oldschool Runescape moving too fast? The reason I've brought this up is because I like to spend some of the 1 hour of free time I have a day browsing the subreddit of 2007scape. Here you can find all the same posts that have been getting upvoted for the past 20 years and a plethora of whiny little babies crying about things they have no knowledge about. So from the time I've gotten to spend in this hellhole of a site, I have noticed a few things. Number one, I haven't seen a solo mission video in a while, and I'm kind of getting sad about it. And number two, a lot of little babies crying about the new Forestry update, or other updates that have come out recently. Oh, it's too hard. It's too complicated. Okay, just let's stop a second. Take a deep breath and just relax. I get it. I was just like you once. You're looking at those blog posts and saying, nope, I'm going to go do what I've always done, and that's sit at the Grand Exchange doing nothing. But let me reassure you, we are going to get through this together as teacher and student. So we are going to talk about the different updates and stuff coming to Oldschool Runescape, things that are going to be pulled as well as things that are already in the game. Now, at first, some things they have proposed are not all the way thought out, and most of the time they have changes to the blog posts that come out after like a day or two after the original blog post, and the community can give some feedback. But I will say that it has been working, in my opinion, and everything that has come out in Oldschool Runescape so far, I've had a lot of fun with, and I think everyone else has too. This is still the game we played whenever we were 10, just with a brand new adventure. I personally think that, yes, Jagex is moving a little too fast, but that doesn't mean I don't love everything they come out with. I just feel sometimes, unless you're someone who gets to play every day and are maxed, you're probably not able to do all of the content as it comes out, which is when it's most exciting. But that's where it gets a little tricky, because you have many people who are maxed and just waiting for the next content to come out, and then you have other people like me and you, or maybe not you, who are still trying to max. The people like me and other people are trying to do the new content on top of getting everything else done for their accounts, like the quest and the diaries and maxing. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think the Jagex is moving a little too fast for me, but for other people who are maxed, they're moving at a perfect pace. So it's really just your perspective, and I understand if you think they're moving too fast, and I also understand if you don't think they're moving fast enough, or if you want more content. And honestly, when they dropped Forestry Part 2 on us without any warning, I was super happy. I loved it. I love it whenever they decide to come out with an update, like just at random, and as long as everything has been smoothed out, I would say it's a good thing. Sometimes they do have stuff that comes out that hasn't been fully smoothed out, but they never really release anything that's too game breaking or anything like that. So first up on our list of updates, this is updates that have already come out into the game. And first we have Forestry. So we're going to be talking about Forestry. This is one that has had a lot of people crying about it, but on Reddit and other places, I guess, probably Twitter. But you know what? It's not hard. And even if you hate Forestry, you don't have to do it. Just click on a tree, go AFK until the next time you have to click on that tree. The two-handed axe is amazing. All it does is give you more XP at the cost of the amount of logs that you get. And the trees just having a despawn timer for the first, like from the very first chop, every single tree has an exact timer. Not an exact timer, but like it could be like 5 to 7 minutes that this tree stays up. So you know, I'm cutting this tree for 5 to 7 minutes, and you have a good amount of AFK time, and you know whenever to click on the next tree. So that's another reason I think it's awesome. And one of the best things to come out with Forestry is the AFK firemaking XP for campfires. Now you can AFK firemaking pretty much completely. And if you go to the crafting guild, you can stand on one tile next to the bank chest and get all your logs out, and then click on the fire that you started, and you're just like, you're standing in that one spot. So you really are really AFK. Shooting stars is one of my favorite updates. Whenever it came out, at every star, you would have like hundreds of people, especially at Prif. But when the server lag and all that happened, they had to make some changes. And it's still really good. They just nerfed it like a tiny bit. Like on average, I would say that you spend a lot less time at stars than before because of the despawn timer. It despawns a lot faster, and there's a lot less people than before because there are a lot of stars and people are spread out to the different stars. But they kept the prices for things the same in the Stardust shop, as well as kept it a group activity, which I still enjoy. You get around the same amount of XP per hour and just a little less dust. I would say you probably get more XP per hour. I'm pretty sure you do. Overall, I have to say that they did an amazing job with this update. They made shooting stars and mining better. They recognized that there was a problem with the server lag after, but also recognized that people loved the update, so they came out with a solution to help with the server lag, but also kept shooting stars a group activity. Last up on the list of updates that are in the game, we have the 2023 Halloween event. Now, I don't do the Halloween events ever, but I know this one is from last year, and I didn't do that one, so I had a lot of fun doing it this year. It was a lot of fun. I hope everyone had a lot of fun doing it last year, and maybe even this year again, and got the new outfits. I bet it wasn't that exciting for you, but it was still pretty fun. Now, I don't fault the devs for not doing something different, as they're coming out with something for like all the holidays. So just the fact that we had something that will give us the Halloween spirit was really cool. Just seeing that little Halloween touch into the game. Next up, we have Leagues 4. This is not in the game, but it will be coming out November 15th. So if we're going to be talking about updates, this is one that is going to be huge, and it has so much cool items and rewards. If you play Oldschool Runescape, there's no way you wouldn't want to play this one. I guess there is a way, because I didn't play my first one, but it's fun. It's fun once you try it out. I encourage everyone to try it. It's fire themed with the rewards, so they have come up with all kinds of outfits, emotes, home teleports, ornament kits. My favorite thing is the pool, the rejuvenation pool in your player-owned house. They are giving that a ornament kit, so it'll be flames instead of water. And then they have an ornament kit for the toxic blowpipe. Those are my two favorite things, but they have a lot more rewards. The trophy tiers will be different this year. In the past, you would have to be in the top % to get a trophy, and that was always changing with people playing. But this year, they're doing it a set amount of points, and then you get that tier, and then you can't be knocked out. So if you want to stop playing after you get to that tier and get your rewards, you can do that. This game mode, like I said, will be coming out November 15th, and it's pretty soon, so go ahead and watch some videos about it and plan your own strategies. I'm going to be making a ton of videos whenever it gets a little closer to the time, and I will be making a series once it actually comes out. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope to see you guys in the future in Leagues 4. Again, you can check the full update out from a previous video I made when you're done with this one. I will link it right here. Next, we're going to move on to updates that haven't been implemented into the game, but we'll probably go through polling and everything like that. They've already released a blog post about it. Up first, we have Perilous Moons, which is going to be a dungeon and a quest. One of my favorite things that has been announced so far is the Perilous Moons Dungeon. You can access this by doing the Perilous Moons quest when Valamore comes out, but this may not be even released in the first wave of updates, so who knows whenever it's actually going to come out. With this minigame, you will be doing something like Barrows and trying to contain all 3 of the noob demi-bosses in their chambers instead of actually like killing them like you do in Barrows. You can do this by yourself or with friends, and if you do it with friends, you don't have to worry about them not contributing because you will have your own rewards and drops. There will be 3 different types of armor and weapons you can get from this, all having unique special abilities whenever you have the full set equipped, kind of like the Barrows armor sets. This is aimed to be for med-level accounts, and it has some really cool hybrid rewards. So like you will be able to melee and mage with the same armor and like weapon on instead of having to switch. It will be gear that's between Barrows gear and God Wars dungeon gear, and defense is key here, so make sure you grab some good defensive gear if you're planning on doing this, because it will help a lot. And if you want to know more about this, I've also made a video about this, which will pop up right now. Valamore is going to be a huge update whenever it's released in Oldschool Runescape. They're going to be doing it in sections, so they're not even going to release the whole thing. But they have so much content to come out and this massive new continent that we're about to get. And all the activities and quests and everything just looks super cool. I think they're going to try to come up with a really good story behind it, like a congruent story for it makes the game feel more tight-knit, but I could be wrong. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there. So back to talking about the Fortis Colosseum. This is actually going to be amazing for the game. If you've been on Reddit or seen people mentioning the Blue Inferno, which is just something people really made up, that's basically the Inferno, but like a hard mode Inferno. And we're going to be kind of getting that with this new Colosseum minigame. I would imagine it's going to be way different than the Inferno, but it's still going to be like a wave-based minigame. So it's going to be really fun. Along with some of the new best in slot weapons and armor, if you want to know more about this update, because there's so much to go over and cover. I've just made a video about pretty much all of these. If you want to know more in depth about these, gonna pop up right here. All right, so next up we have the Chambers of Xeric. That's another update that I believe is going to be coming out. I'm not 100% sure on all the changes coming out for the Chambers of Xeric, but I think I remember watching a King Condor video where they were saying it would be more, you'd be able to pick your floor layouts at the cost of points. So instead of getting, if you get a really hard floor, you would get more points, but being able to pick your floor and getting the easy floors, even though you get less points, is still better to do that. But that's all I really know about the Chambers of Xeric. Moving on to the next one, it is selling is probably one of the biggest updates that will be coming out alongside Valamore, and all of those updates. Selling will be a first new skill introduced into the game in a very long time. This will be a mix of exploring the open seas combined with other skills to make it more fun and interesting. Selling has so many parts and components to it. I would say that the best thing you could do is watch the selling video on the Oldschool Runescape YouTube. They are very well made and explain selling in the easiest to understand but detailed manner you could ask for. Overall, I think that the Oldschool Runescape dev team, everyone that works on the game is amazing. I think they care a lot about what happens to the game now and in the future, and they aren't going to just come out with anything that will break the game. So unless the new Jagex owners force them to put like microtransactions and stuff into the game, I don't think it'll ever happen. The community and team have been at it for so long and have so many dedicated players and fans that I just don't see them trying to take that magic away. The more people that we get involved in voting in polls and making posts on Reddit and commenting on things, the mods right, ultimately help the game in a big way in the short run and in the long run. So I just encourage all of you to take a second and read the new post, look up the videos on YouTube about it so you have information whenever you're voting, unless you're just brain dead. If you're brain dead, just stay in your bubble and try not to do any of this. Now, if you want to know how I found my love for Oldschool RuneScape again, click on this video right here.